Now, Sports Talk with Brodes. Here's Hunter Brody.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Sports Talk with Brodes. The Philadelphia Flyers start out 2-0. Another great victory. They beat up on this Pittsburgh Penguins team. Well, beat up on, I guess you can say that. I didn't really know if the Flyers deserved to win this game. I thought they got outworked, specifically in that second period. They had a 3-0 lead. They allowed the Penguins to crawl right back within moments. So I'm not going to tell you this was a gorgeous outing by any means. It was ugly. You still get 2 points, though, and in a 56-game sprint, you got to find ways to secure the points. Everyone's beating up on everyone because you're playing only your division. That makes this so much more meaningful. That makes winning in regulation so much more powerful. So I'm impressed with the win. Carter Hart was stellar, sensational, 31 saves on 33 shots, and he came up clutch, left and right, making big-time saves. Travis Konecny continued to drive the net. Look at his 3 goals. Talk about getting greasy. Talk about getting into the blue paint. And he was actually interviewed after the first intermission, I believe it was, and he was asked about his production and what he was doing so solid in the game. And he kept saying, getting to the blue paint, getting in front of the net, getting in those areas. That's how he scored his damn hat trick. It doesn't matter how. It only matters how many. And the answer is 3. The first goal, beautiful, and I mean beautiful, tic-tac-toe work between Claude Giroux to Jake Voracek backdoor, who slid it over to Travis Konecny on the far post. Bang, puts it in 1-0. For the second goal, he's just greasy in front of the crease. It hit off of his skate. Did he redirect it? Was he trying to stop and his foot made that motion naturally? I probably would have challenged the play. I thought it could have been a kicking motion. I also see why they would look at it and say, well, he was only turning his foot, but there was no literal kicking movement. It was more just a redirection kind of thing. I don't know. It was sticky. It was iffy. My first initial reaction was, you got to challenge it. Then I saw a couple more replays. Would I have taken a shot? Maybe, but if you get the challenge wrong, is that something you want to live with? Was it so early in the game you figured, okay, let's just move forward and keep attacking? I don't know. It was a close one for sure, but just recognize where that area was. Nolan Patrick ended up getting an assist on that one, and I've been impressed with some of the plays I've seen out of Nolan Patrick for sure. That is a big addition when you talk to anyone in reference to the depth of this orange and black team. So Ivan Provorov makes it 3-0. This is early first period. I thought it was going to be a blowout, a destroying victory. Didn't end up being so. Provorov gets in that soft area beautifully. Jake Voracek, a very nice feed, and Jarry didn't have his stick. It was broken, and then bang, you go top shelf. He gets yanked after that. Jarry did. They put into Smith, and it was a statement by the head coach Sullivan. Ho, 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 Jarry, not your night, bud. Go sit your ass on the bench. But this is where I got disappointed in the action. And by the way, before that second goal, Carter Hart with a huge save on a 2-on-1 the other way. So your goaltender stands on his head, keeps it a 2-0 lead, or no, excuse me, it would have been a 1-0 lead at the time, keeps it a 1-0 lead, and then the Flyers push back, bang, within seconds, and boom, that's it. I mean, I'm telling you, that's it. That's the difference in winning and losing hockey games when you have a netminder that is outrageous and on another planet. We are broadcasting live, by the way, from the Manscaped Man Cave. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BROD at manscaped.com. So this is where I got a little bit annoyed. The Flyers took a penalty. Sidney Crosby scores a goal, and he creeps into the lead 3-1. I didn't like the penalty, right? You got to make sure you don't give the opponent any sort of life. You're up 3 goals. Don't even give them the opportunity to maybe squeak a goal in. They did. Not ideal, but that didn't irritate me as much as the next goal. So they scored. So they have a bit of momentum. Shut them down. Take the momentum back. You can't allow them to go right back down the ice, throw a shot on net, and then score on the rebound. It was a far pad look, even though I'm pretty sure it hit Carter Hart's blocker. But what are you doing? It was almost like there was no sense of urgency. The first goal, Sidney Crosby scores on a power play. I'm annoyed, but I can live with it. It's about that second goal that really got me all disgusted inside. Crosby's going to score a goal. So be it. How do you respond in that moment? The Penguins were eventually going to score. How do you respond when they do? You can't let up. It was like the Flyers let up. And that irritates me. Losing Sean Couturier is a big loss. It really is. It's the difference in being able to shut down the opponent's number one guy or not. That's how great he is, and that's why he wins the hardware when it comes to being a two-way forward. He's special on both ends of the ice. So him going out, you saw him get hit, rubbed off towards the glass, and then he's sitting on the bench speaking with the trainer, pointing at the shoulder. Now, apparently he's going to be getting an MRI. I can't act as if that didn't play a role in how the rest of the game played out because the other team, they have more room to work with when their better guys are on the ice. I praise this Flyers team's depth for a reason. They have a lot of guys, and essentially they were able to hold on even without him, which is impressive. But yeah, other guys are going to have plenty of space and plenty of ice to make more plays when you lose such a powerful weapon like Sean Couturier. Not an excuse, though. The goal to make it 3-2 really irked me. Tanev ends up getting it. But that first period was greasy. It really was. It was a grindy period. And that's what's going to happen when you play teams back-to-back. When you play teams in this two-game series, it's going to get chippy. You're going to hate one another. And oh, by the way, they're playing each other 8 times. The Canadian division's playing each other 10 times. So there's going to be this intense rivalry between a lot of these teams. But Jake Voracek got hit pretty good. Scott Lawton got hit pretty good. Nolan Patrick got hit pretty good. Claude Giroux was getting mucked in the corner, although he showed his aggressiveness and said, screw you, rubbed guys off as well and threw them to the ground. So I thought, it was a physical first period, and I wanted this team to get tested. That second period was flat out garbage, though. Way too many odd man rushes, way too many 2-on-1s. Now, I saw some good plays, whether it's from Carter Hart robbing Jake Gensel or robbing Zucker on a breakaway or Justin Braun on a 2-on-1 breaking it up before it even happened. Some defensemen leaving their feet to break up the play, and if it wasn't a perfect breakup, it was just enough to make the Penguins have to make that second move, which didn't allow the play to be as proper and to be as smooth. So I thought the Flyers, they did okay in those moments, but you can't allow that many moments. That's more of the issue. That's more of the concern. I'm proud that even when they made a mistake, they made up for it, whether it's the goaltender snagging it from them, or if it's them just messing up, or if it's the defenseman making a good play with his poke check. Like, I thought they handled those ugly situations firm at times, but you can't rely on that. That's not a recipe for success. That has to be cleaned up. How much of that is? Look, it's game 2, and you didn't have the preseason, and you didn't have a proper training camp, or how much of that is the concern with me, young defensemen, good defensemen, but young, Meyer, Sanheim, still growing into their own, Gustafson's an offensive defenseman type, Robert Haig, Justin Braun playing top minutes. Like, how much of that is a product of losing Matt Niskanen, or was it just a one-game thing? I think that this decor is better than that, but I also know that there's a monster hole that they are missing from last season. That second period, though, you got to clean it up. What are you doing? What is this sloppy play? Passes aren't crisp, not tape to tape. How do you allow so many odd man rushes? That's telling me your third guy's not properly high. Your neutral zone is not okay. Constantly. What's the one defenseman doing? How are you so out of the play? What are these decisions being made? I'm sure Alain Vigneault is going to be fired up watching that tape and going back during film. Go, fellas, this has to be cleaned up. because it was awful. The Flyers had a power play about 10 minutes into the second period. I thought power play 2 did a good job at getting pucks on net. Gustafsson gets the puck, throws it on net. You got 2 guys in front taking away the goalie's eyes. I like that. Simplify it. Get some sort of umbrella going. You got 3 guys up top, Joel Farabee, Gustafsson. Work the puck high, get the screens in front. I like that. Now, the first power play goal was tremendous, beautiful tic-tac-toe. And when you have more skilled guys out there, that's naturally going to happen because, well, you have guys like Voracek who can play make, and you have guys out there like Claude Giroux. But in that moment in the second period, I actually liked PP2 more than I liked PP1 because I thought that they were trying to do too much. But if we look back to the first goal, it was so awesome that can I knock them for trying to do something very similar? I think you need to pick and choose when to kind of go down that road or not. In the intermission in the second period, this gets a little interesting. Scott Hartnell throws out a nice hockey term, shinny. And I'm looking on Twitter because I didn't hear him say it live. And I see everyone in the area tweeting, did Scott Hartnell just say shitty? This guy just got thrown onto the air. Did he just curse in his second game? Well, I guess, did they have the pre- and post-game shows when it was on NBC on the national feed on the first game of the season? I don't know. I didn't catch too much of the intermission stuff during their first game against the Penguins because it was on NBC Sports, not so much NBC Sports Philadelphia, but I digress. You know, here he is throwing shinny out there. To me, I knew instantly. I'm like, he said shinny. You know, it looked like the Flyers were playing shinny hockey. Pick up with the boys, men's league, like not good hockey. Yet the hockey world out there got a little confused. My guy Jeff Mosher tweeted out, and he covers the Eagles. He's been an Eagles reporter now for, 16 years, since 2005? He said, I sure had a shinny 2020. Who else? Something of that nature. I'm paraphrasing, and I quote tweeted it. Said, before you know it, Moshe is going to be tweeting, oh, you know, the Eagles are signing whoever. Eh? But the way this is going, oh, you know, the Eagles are going to sign, or let's say they get a coach. The new head coach, oh, you know, of the Philadelphia Eagles, you know, or Brian Dable, eh? The way this is trending, I'm just happy that people are excited and watching the Flyers. That's what I love about this strong start. If they laid an egg game 1 and they lost 2-0, you'd be like, what are the Flyers? The fact that they started out 2-0 against the Penguins, even though people are recognizing that this Penguins team is not the same as they used to, keep the momentum going. Keep this city engaged. This team deserves it because they are a damn good hockey team. And it starts with the netminder who really did take control. He was dominant. He was lethal. Did he steal the game? Well, the first 10 minutes or so was so dominant out of the Flyers, they put themselves in such a great position. But after that, I thought, yeah, you could argue that Carter Hart absolutely stole this game. That second period was atrocious. Third period, the Flyers killed a penalty, got rewarded with the power play that allowed them to get a little bit more momentum. And this is when Travis Konecny starts out in the D zone, and he goes all the way to the net, drives the net. My man gets rewarded. That's how it's done. And I pointed out last game something very similar. Sean Couturier went from D zone to O zone, went to the net, drove hard. Travis Konecny ended up putting in a rebound. Actually, it hit off Oscar Lindblom's head. I'm talking about the first outing against the Penguins. They credited Lindblom because it hit his head as he was laying in the blue paint. But my point is now this is 2 games, 2 examples of guys getting up ice, starting in the D zone, allowing that to properly get yourself going. And Kevin Hayes was interviewed. Where was this interview at? I forget exactly where it was. It might have been NHL Network. I've been crushing so much hockey, NHL Game Center. I've just been overwhelmed with insane hockey stuff. I forget where exactly it was. But he was asked about this team, and they said, what is the identity of this team? A team that plays solid defensively. A great team in the D zone. Crediting that D zone. That's exactly what Alain Vigneault preaches, and it is magnificent. So that allowed the Flyers to get that 4-2 lead. The empty netter solidified a 5-2 victory because Oscar Lindblom net ones, and it doesn't matter how he keeps scoring these goals, whether he's pushed in the crease and it hits off his noggin or his bucket or not. It doesn't matter. He's got 2 goals on the season. I'm not in love with this outing, right? Let's be realistic. It's not like I'm in love with it. And I'm concerned for Sean Couturier, as we should be. If he's not going to be able to play and if he's not going to be available, that's going to be an issue. You lose your top center who can shut down opponents and produce on the offensive side, you're going to be in a pickle. I think this team is built to hold on if he can play for a stretch, and time will tell us. But that hurts. That stings. So looking around the score sheet, by the way, Travis Konecny had an assist on that Oscar Lindblom empty netter to give him 4 points. Farabee with 4 in the first game. Konecny with a hat trick and 4 points in the second game. Hey, it's a different guy every single night. Relates to what we saw last season. Claude Giroux, the captain, 2 points. Voracek, 2 points. JVR, 2 points. This guy was a healthy scratch last season. Let this guy play. I didn't like the way that he was utilized last season. I thought he was playing with players that didn't best suit him. So why continue to throw him out there with some of the guys where, he needs a little help. He's a strong, smart player. I think JVR is so successful because of his knowledge of the game and how he knows what to do based off of that. His IQ is really strong. He needs some help. He needs some playmakers. He needs some guys around him. Last year at times he was playing with some fourth liners, and fourth liners on this team, it's good compared to some other fourth lines in the league, but he needs some help. And I think what he's doing on the power play as well is beneficial to him. JVR is playing with confidence right now, and I want it to stay this way because it's important. It really is for him to log 2 points on the stat sheet. Great. Chris Letang was a -4. Oh, sucks, doesn't it, Chris Letang? It sucks. Yeah, I thought Alain Vigneault said something pretty interesting after last game. He was asked about the fourth line being matched up against Malkin's line and some of the other top guys. He goes, look, if I put these guys out on the penalty kill, and if they can play against an opponent's best power play, can I expect them to play 5-on-5? I was like, huh. Touche, coach. Touche. And speaking of the media, listen to this. This was Jake Voracek after this performance to Mike Sealski. I want to make sure I put these on the right head here, these headphones. All right. Flip it around. Listen to what he said to Mike Sealski. I couldn't believe it. Although Jake Voracek is known to get a bit snippy.
Mike Sealski, you're on. Go ahead.
Yeah, this question is for Jake. 2 games in, Jake, how different does the season feel, if at all, given the circumstances, the offseason and the condensed schedule and everything?
Doesn't matter what I say, Mike. You're going to write fucking shit every time. So it doesn't matter what you say.
Look, Voracek has attitude. He has a personality. I think he's fully aware that he's been heavily criticized in this city, right? The payday, the contract. Does he live up to it? Is he overrated? He's been a guy that has had a lot of focus on him since he's been in Philadelphia. That's a little snippy, though. Oh, wow, after a victory. Now, I thought the question was fair. I'm not sure about their history. For example, everyone knows about Jeff McLean and Doug Peterson not getting along. He's the beat guy for the Philadelphia Inquirer for the Eagles. Everyone knows about that relationship. I don't personally know too much about Sealski and Voracek, so I'm a little surprised by it. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe it's well known. I tend to feel I'm on top of things like that. So what a fireback out of Jake Voracek. In my opinion, I don't know if it was warranted for that type of question. I mean, it wasn't that crazy at all. What is crazy, though, how much money you can make at DraftKings. While the holiday season may be over, Let's try this again. While the holiday season may be over, the sports calendar is in full swing this week. From collegiate to professional sports, there's no shortage of action, and there's no better place to get in on all the action than with DraftKings Sportsbook. To celebrate this year's football playoffs, DraftKings is giving all new players the chance to bet on any of this weekend's professional football games at 100-1 odds. All you have to do is bet $1. If your team wins, you cash $100. There's also 2021 basketball season daily odds boosts. So check that out now. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app and use promo code Brodes when you sign up to get 100-1 odds on any football game this weekend. That's code Brodes for new players to get a shot at $100 on any football action this weekend. For a limited time, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Pennsylvania only. Restrictions apply. In partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, we have some anytime hotline calls. The people were super stoked after this win, and I'm so happy for this, really. I love getting the reaction from Flyers fans after the games. Like, it makes me so happy. For some reason, I don't know why, but the feeling I get for calls for this team is significantly better than the other teams. And that's not to knock when people call in on other teams. I love it. I love it. But I think it's because I want this team to get the appreciation and respect that they deserve. People always love the Sixers. People always love the Eagles, right? People care about the Phillies. They're in a mess right now. They're in a messy spot. But regardless, people care about the Phillies. The Flyers, I'm here for the Flyers faithful. All right? So to feel the love, it just feels different for the Flyers. So I love it. I absolutely love it. Let's kick off the Anytime Hotline. The phone number, 856-442-9805. You can call in whenever. It's 24/7. All right, let's hear from the people.
The game was by no means the prettiest, but the Flyers still got it done. They got outshot in the game, and as the game went on, the Penguins kept on throwing everything they had, but the Carter Hart especially managed to pull it out. Travis Konecny with a big hat trick, 4 points tonight, just like Joel Farabee, and definitely things to work on. But I think it's really telling of the strength of this team that a game that they weren't necessarily the best, they still won by 3 goals. One kind of empty netter, but 3 goals nonetheless. But looking forward to Monday.
I agree. It sucks we have to wait till Monday, right? I mean, I want a game tomorrow. I want a game Sunday. I want every single game this week. I want a game every day this week. That's how much I'm excited for this team. It's so early, I think, that even when you're trying to learn your identity, figure out what your team is all about, kind of, figure out your roles and figure out lines and figure out who's going to step up and be that top player and be that top line. When you're trying to figure that out, if you're producing victories along the way, it's so solid. And I keep stressing this because it's so important. 56 games. It's not 82. You need to get off to a great start. You need to put wins together. So while this one was ugly, and I don't necessarily think they deserve to win, it's solid that they found a way to hold on. The first period, the first 10, 15 minutes or so, where they are insanely scoring at will, I was like, damn, they are going to abuse this team. I hate how much they let off the gas so quickly. They got sloppy. They took penalties. Stick penalties. Come on. That means you're not moving your feet. That means you're not staying with guys. You're getting lazy on me. Don't get lazy on me. No stick work. You don't like those stick work penalties. When things got tough, though, what did they do? They formed together. They came together. Carter Hart had their backs. And good teams find ways to really hold on, even if it's not pretty. This is how it is. It's not all going to be gorgeous. It's not all going to be those first 3 goals, and then it's just going to be a rout. The other team's going to have a pushback. It needs to be cleaner than this, but it's nice to know when the pushback occurs, you have stability in that blue crease that allows for you to stay where you are. You did not have that in years past. And I'll even credit, we haven't seen him this year, but I'm basing this off of last year and what I anticipate moving forward. I think you have that in Brian Elliott. I think the tandem is strong. If Carter Hart's not going to go that night, I have trust that Moose will be able to step in and do something just as reliable. And because of his age, the fact that he's going to get even less time, I think gives me even more confidence that he can do it. Now, he might be rustier because you're not getting as much action, but I think that keeps you fresh when you're at his age. Like, he's mentally prepared. He's preparing his body. He's physically prepared. He's a pro's pro. So knowing he's not going to get a ton of games, when he does, I think he can be a safe outlet. And we'll see when we get Brian Elliott for the first time. Hopefully he doesn't lay an egg and make me look like an idiot.
Brodes, Ryan from Tampa, 2-0. And you know what 3 words are the most beautiful thing in Philly right now?
Feel the shake.
Pico power play! What a difference the power play has been from in the playoffs to now. They are moving the puck around. They're not fiddling around the puck. They're skating right in, and things are happening around the net. What is concerning, the only thing, there was a lot of defensive breakdowns, too many penalties, got to clean up in the back. What a great start for this team against a big rivalry game. 54 more games to go, 2-0.
Love it, Ryan. That's tremendous stuff out of you. The Pico power play, huh? That gets you excited. We haven't seen excitement when the power play comes out on the ice in how long? I remember last year, it got to the point where I didn't want the peeper. In what universe are you watching your team play and it's so ugly, it's so abysmal that you'd rather see 5-on-5 than a power play, than a man advantage? That doesn't happen. That's not the case here. In the third period, when you killed off that penalty, when you found a way to get your grunts out there, kill the penalty off, get rewarded with the power play, you felt good, as if this could be it, fellas. This could be the turning point. This could be where you put your stamp on this win, where you put your foot down, step on the throats of the Penguins, and you solidify that victory. You just had your penalty kill do their job. Let's now finish it off. Let's now execute. Now, they didn't technically get the power play goal, but it was enough to generate momentum, take it away from the other team, get it back in your favor, and then within moments, Travis Konecny is skating his ass up ice, starting in the D zone. It's the little things, people. I'll be stressing the little things all season long. Getting his ass into the crease. Scored all 3 goals there. Bingos for days. A hattie. Gritty's throwing hats on the ice. Love it. Love it.
Fuck yeah, baby. It's like I said on Wednesday. Can't be any more perfect. How about Travis with that hat trick? Fuck the Pens.
Love the call. Love the call. This is amazing, no? I've been doing this for a long time, right? This is what I've been waiting for. A solid team, people getting behind this team, people getting excited for the team to play. You're anticipating a 7 o'clock puck drop when this team plays. Must-watch television. These type of reactions, they make me so excited. It's been dead surrounding this team for a long period of time. You have substance here. You have stability. You have lines that can roll. You have lethal playmakers. I'm a little concerned with the D end. I'm a little concerned with those 6 defensemen. Not all 6. Love Myers. Love Sanheim. Love Provorov. Don't love Braun. I like Gustafsson. I need to see more out of him, though. Like, he had great years in Chicago. Wasn't very strong in Calgary. He had a great start in game 1 with those 2 power play goals, but I need more time to really learn who he is 5-on-5, who he is in the D zone. Robert Haig at one point was a stiff. I couldn't stand him. He's adapted, and I know last year I liked him in the lineup. Let's see if he can build off last season. I just have some concerns on how stellar that D-core is because there's youth involved. There's young players involved, and in this league, you're going to have to learn, right? And you're going to make mistakes, and you're going to have flaws, and the only way to learn from those mistakes is, oh, yeah, I got beat here. This is what I can't do. So there's going to be a lot of teaching moments. Found a way to, found a way to stop Crosby and this offensive structure, which has Malkin, Crosby, Gensel. But in reality, Crosby had 2 filthy goals in these 2 games. Appreciate Sidney Crosby, people. Appreciate him.
Hey, Brodes. This is Audie calling from Calgary. First time, long time. Listen, noted Penguins fan here. All I want to say, Travis Konecny is...
Travis Konecny is what? What happened here?
He is Pittsburgh's daddy.
Oh! Look, last year, Travis Konecny, remember, there was the contract stuff that went on. He signed, came to camp, willing to work, new head coach, had a great season, had a poor playoff, a frustrating playoff, not happy with himself. And you can tell he's got that personality, right? He's got that mentality where you know if he's not happy with his play. You can see it in his emotion. He's an emotional player. It's great for a guy to come out rolling this way. He is racking up the points. We're going to have to keep an eye on him. It's not to the level of Ben Simmons. I like to draw a lot of comparisons, though, to some players here with others around the city. Ben Simmons, he makes plays in regular season. He's great in regular season. Playoff basketball, different game slowed down, half-court sets, the spacing's a problem. Well, teams realized that Travis Konecny was a goal scorer for this squad, and he was someone that really got them going. If you eliminated Travis Konecny, do they have other pieces? Can they do it? Well, I want to see, first off, him not get eliminated in the playoffs. So I think it's very important and valuable for him to keep up this type of pace and to be a productive guy all regular season long. I saw last year, albeit extremely young in his career, him struggle in postseason where there's less time and space. There's more physicality. There's more game planning involved. Keep in mind, you're also going up against Barry Trotz last year, who is known to suffocate you to an elite degree with your scheme. That's what he does so well. So that's a part of it also. But I think it's reasonable to make sure that as excited as you are about Travis Konecny in these type of games, let's see if it translates to the postseason this year, because it didn't last year. But that's not to knock what he has done. What he's done, it's great.
Brodes, they don't ask how, they ask how many. And the Flyers pulled out one tonight that maybe they shouldn't have. But let's just talk about TK with an absolute game. Now, not the prettiest goals, just like I said, but, I mean, come on. First career Hattie, but, yeah, that's unbelievable. Nolan Patrick with a nice goal again. Oscar Lindblom, even though it was open netter, still with a goal. Count it. Voracek with 2 assists, solid game. And Carter Hart coming back with a nice comeback game that he had.
No doubt about it. Nolan Patrick had an assist. He didn't have the goal. He assisted Travis Konecny's second goal. Yeah. The second goal, the greasy one where he's in the blue paint and he's like kicking the puck around. He's stopping. Is he stopping? Is he directing it? What's going on here? Little close, little iffy. I'll take it. When I saw Sullivan choose to not challenge the play, I wasn't upset by any means. 2-0. 2-0, and now they're going to have to go face a Buffalo Sabres team. Taylor Hall, Jack Eichel. The Sabres, they normally start out hot and then they dip out. It's like everyone believes in the Sabres and then they collapse. Well, they had a tough start to the season going up against the Washington Capitals. They're going to be hungry. They're going to be ready. They're going to be prepared. You can't start out slow. So their sense of urgency is going to be lethal. All right? It's going to be lethal. So proud of this team. Wish it was better. Still happy. Still excited. Just like the caller said, they don't ask how, they ask how many. Not just with the goals, but with the wins as well. And Nolan Patrick was brought up. It's not as if I was out on Nolan Patrick, but he hasn't played in so many games. He hasn't played in so many days. I think I saw the number like 600-something days. What am I supposed to expect? I didn't know. It was a weak draft year that year, for sure. Him and Nico Hischier. It's not the greatest in the world. You slid into 2 when you didn't really deserve it. So take it for what it is. But when you talk about depth, he's not your standard number 2, I'm going to change your franchise type guy. But he's a solid number 2 in terms of, this kid can play. All right, I really do think he can. And what I love about it is, I don't want players to face adversity the way that he did, all right, the migraine situation. That's very unhealthy. So I'm not saying it from that angle. I want someone to face adversity that way. But that could change the trajectory of your career. What you had to go through early, what it was like internally, how much it forced you to really take the next step and dig deep inside. It shows you how much you love the game. It shows you what you know is in front of you, and you can't allow that to be taken away from you. Having the support from the teammates. I think that all played a role in what we've seen out of Nolan Patrick from training camp, from the orange and white game to the first game of the year where he got a goal, and from this game where he gets an assist. I really do. I think that's so valuable to what he is so far this season. Hopefully, game in and game out, he can continue to thrive and build off of that. 2-0, baby. 2-0. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next time.